Hi there. So, I want to talk to you about the importance of water as it relates to the healing process. Please make sure that you, the clinician, and your client are well hydrated at the beginning of a session for the purpose of cleaning and clearing. And it is recommended that you have some on hand at the closure of a session too. Water is an excellent conductor of electrical energy and current, and when we are dehydrated, there is interference with our body's energy flow. The body is made up of 70% water, we are told. A molecule of water is broken up into a positively charged hydrogen ion consisting of two hydrogen atoms and a negatively charged oxygen ion consisting of one oxygen atom. Magnetic resonance imaging is a system which utilizes in our familiar CT computer programs to produce pictures of the human body based on their reaction to high-intensity magnetic fields. Of interest is the fact that current MRI images are based on the distribution and structure qualities of water within the tissues of the human body. In their revised teacher's edition of Brain Gym in 1994, Dr. Paul Dennison and Gail Dennison have written about the importance of water and its role in brain activation, as well as in academic skills and its behavioral and postural correlates. And these are important things to be aware of. Part of the Brain Gym course is in actually edukinetics, as they call it, or kinesthetics, and exercises which include PACE, the acronym PACE, which stands for positive, active, clear, and energetic. So what they do to start a client off is they tend to utilize applied kinesiology, or AK. They do some testing following each of the four Brain Gym activities. The positive, which means doing Cook's hookups, which diffuse emotional or environmental stress. The adrenal zip up or down or testing can also be done for that same purpose. The active is using cross crawl, which activates the left and right cerebral hemispheres. The clear is rubbing the K27 points, which are also called the brain buttons in Brain Gym. These areas are the K27 points. That's the kidney, the final point on the kidney meridian. And they stimulate neurotransmitter production at the synapses in the brain. Energetic, which is drinking sufficient water. Well, that serves as the medium that conducts electricity within the body. You can check that out on Brain Gym 1 and 2 courses. There are outlines, pages 4 and 6, I believe. These exercises are in fact done in the reverse order, beginning with testing for hydration by the practitioner using applied kinesiology while holding some of the client's head hair between the thumb and the index finger. If the resistance is low, then the client should drink water and be retested until the resistance becomes strong, and then they are then sufficiently hydrated. It is now generally believed it is the water in our bodies that actually regulates all functions of the body, including the activity of all the solutes that are dissolved in it. Your bones are a quarter water. The muscles that drive your performance are 3/4 water. If you dehydrate a muscle by only 3%, you cause about a 10% loss of contractile strength and 8% loss of speed. When you become dehydrated, a cascade of chemical events takes place. Your body naturally begins to increase production of histamine. Histamine is present in all body tissues and produced by the mast cells found in connective tissue. Not only is histamine a mediator in terms of inflammation, but it acts as a neurotransmitter. And that means it directs and operates the subordinate systems that promote water distribution to various tissues and organs. These subordinate systems involve the action of the hormones, vasopressin and renin-angiotensin, as well as prostaglandins and kinins. When levels become excessively active, the mucous membranes of the lungs, for example, can become irritated, and in time the muscles and tissues that make up the breathing mechanism can go into spasm, resulting in severe breathing problems and, at worst, asthma. This, in addition to long-term damage to the immune system, is bad news indeed, especially for the athlete. There was an article in Athletics Weekly back in 1999 that clearly stated that a lack of water is considered to be the #1 trigger for daytime fatigue. Even mild dehydration will slow one's metabolism down by as much as 3%, and some figures suggest that 75% of the population would be considered clinically dehydrated. At a First Nations workshop I attended many years ago with Lee Brown, an addictions counsellor, he made a presentation on the interpretation of dreams. It was interesting to hear that the most common belief about dreams that involve water is that the water will often represent emotions. Flowing water or drifting through water can mean that emotions are naturally being processed or brought to consciousness for recognition and processing, whereas frozen water or crystallized light will often mean that the person is in a state of emotional freeze, or is numbed out, as they would say. There are many books and articles on dream interpretation, but maybe the main thing we can look for are obvious signals regarding inner distress, and dreams that are recurring or have a theme to them that will most often show perhaps as a metaphor. It is indeed our subconscious trying to give us remembrance of our unfinished business, and we tend to choose to ignore it. Then we should not be too surprised if we are later confronted with some physical issue that we can no longer ignore. As demonstrated by the prototypical homeopathic remedies, vibrational characteristics are usually imprinted upon the universal storage medium of nature, which is of course water. The subtle energetic patterns stored within the vibrational essence may be used to affect human beings at a variety of interactive levels. Richard Gerber spoke to that in his book Vibrational Medicine. And I would suggest, for a full understanding of the impact of our thoughts, intentionality, images and prayers on water, I would certainly recommend that you read Messages from Water by Masaru Emoto. He has done some brilliant research, and he also provides stunning photographic images of crystallized waters from worldwide sources, and the amazing patterns or designs that are formed. Emoto provides clear and dramatic proof that water is truly a mirror reflecting our mind or thought forms. It is said that 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. That likely applies to half the world's population also, I would imagine. In 37% of Americans, the thirst mechanism is so weak that it is mistaken for hunger. Even mild dehydration will slow down one's metabolism as much as 3%. One glass of water will shut down midnight hunger pangs for almost 100% of the dieters studied in a University of Washington study. Lack of water is the number one trigger of daytime fatigue. Preliminary research does indicate that 8 to 10 glasses of water a day could significantly ease back and joint pain for up to 80% of sufferers. A mere 2% drop in body water can trigger fuzzy short-term memory, cause trouble with basic math, and cause difficulty focusing on the computer screen or on a printed page. Drinking 5 glasses of water daily decreases the risk of colon cancer by 45%. Plus, it can slash the risk of breast cancer by 79%. And one is 50% less likely to develop bladder cancer. Are you drinking the amount of water you should drink every day? And I pose that question to both a clinician and a client. So please, if you are doing work on post-traumatic stress disorder, trauma or shock, please make sure you stay sufficiently hydrated. Thank you.